Welcome to Window on the World. I'm your host, Lisa Oligas. In this special edition, we get to know members of the faculty of the University of Hradec Králové, located in the Czech Republic. Our guests are Dr. Tereza Očenářsková, assistant professor working in project management, who serves as the executive secretary of the Center of Basic and Applied Research, and Dr. Vladimir Sobieslav, a computer science researcher specializing in cybersecurity, computer networks, virtualization, and cloud computing. Thank you both for joining us on Window on the World. We're so glad you work here and you work at the University of Czech Republic. Now, before we go into your visit here on campus, I'd like to learn about your life in the Czech Republic, because that's what Window on the World is all about. So were you both born and raised there in the Czech Republic, or were you born somewhere else?
We both were born in Czech Republic. Tereza was born in Hradec Králové, and I was born in smaller town located close to the mountains at about 40 miles from Hradec Králové. But I go to the Hradec very often, and I teach there and spend some time.
And so is your hometown kind of a small town? Give us an idea of what it's like in your hometown.
It's about 10,000 inhabitants.
Wow.
So it's not a village, because like a small town. Almost everything there. Mountains are quite close. There's what we call Czech paradise, beautiful nature and a lot of beautiful things there for trips and trails. That's nice. So.
Okay.
I like it. I like the hills at least, maybe the mountains as well.
It's great for someone who loves the outdoors.
Yeah.
So Tereza, tell us about you growing up in it. Do you consider it like a small town living, or was it?
It's like, Hradec Králové, which is like, the middle-sized city. And actually, there are a lot of activities, I'm into sports quite a lot, like since I was a child. And Hradec is like little Amsterdam. So we cycle everywhere, literally, like to school, to work, and so on and so far. And except from that, like our giant mountains, like the biggest mountains of the Czech Republic, are also very close to us. So we used to go there hiking in the summer, like skiing in the winter. And similarly, we used to explore like chateaus, castles, like the cultural heritage of our country. So, I'm definitely like from quite exploring family and also like quite sporty family. So this is like how was my childhood about. And also like what I used to love to go was the summer camps.
Oh.
So literally I were there first like as a child, and then as the instructor, then the leader of the group of children and everything. So it is like about camping. There was no electricity, nothing like this. So 14 days in the nature, literally like quite nice time. So without the technologies and all around.
It's nice to have that very close by. So at the time you were children in the Czech Republic, we talked about this the other day, it was still under communist rule. What do you remember about that time? You had a little story you were sharing about being in line.
Yeah, I still remember. I was 9.
9.
In the time, we call it Velvet Revolution. It was quite peaceful. The end of the regime. In some countries, it was much harder. People were dying and so on. Yeah. And what I remember, sometimes it was quite hard, for example, to buy some stuff, some food. If you like to have bananas, sometimes there were no bananas or tropical fruit. My story is when I wanted to buy a bicycle with my father. We were standing in the line for more than 1 hour, and when they opened the shop, there were other boys with fathers waiting for the bicycle, but they had only 2. So I was the second one. I got the bicycle, but unfortunately, afterwards, the rest of the boys started crying because there were no more bicycles.
It's not about supply and demand. It was very limited then.
Yeah. This is what I remember.
So, Tereza, do you have any memories? You were quite young when it was under communist rule?
I mean, actually, we used to have some of the friends, for example, living in Germany, and, we were usually getting the clothes from them, because it was exactly something, but it was very, like, you couldn't get jeans, you couldn't get things like this, in the Czech market, or there were, again, like a few pairs, in the whole city. So it was sometimes that they gave us, like, whatever they didn't need and whatever was, like, really, like, new. So then it was like this. Or in our family, my grandmother, my mom, and everyone, they were, like, sewing, or, like, knitting all the all what I was wearing. So that was the time, like, where people were more, like, self-managing of these things, and it was nice, actually. So I still remember having, like, the jumper with Pluto. I don't know if you remember, that was, like, famous dog from some cartoon, and so that was how it used to work.
A lot of homemade things then.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Including, like, jams and all the, pickles and everything, and we still keep these habits, So back home, a lot of, like, Czech families, they grow something, like, in their gardens, and then, they do, gherkins, at home. You prepare, like, juices, jams, whatever, like, compotes and stuff.
Well, another faculty member, Blanka Klimova, said that she has a garden. So do a lot of people garden? Do a lot of people do homegrown things in the Czech Republic?
Absolutely. If you live in a block of flats, there's something like the garden colonies, where people have gardens next to each other, and there people are used to grow, typically, some berries, raspberries you can grow easily, red currant, black currant, gooseberry is very popular back home as well, rhubarb as well, and then fruit and veggies of different kinds. And from the trees, it's usually apples, pears, peaches, cherries, and apricots, everything,
Wow.
And then we exactly, like, proceed them, like, to various products.
That's great. I mean, I didn't know if the climate was good for, growing.
Yeah, it is. It is exactly for maybe what I mentioned, more or less. So you can easily grow, like, the root vegetables, potatoes, and similar, like, also salads are very popular back home, spinach, whatever, you like.
So what is the family dynamic in the Czech Republic? You mentioned, your father going shopping with you. I mean, tell us about, do parents usually work? Are you usually close with, like, extended family? I mean, how important is the family unit?
Really important, but it depends. In some families, the fathers prepare the meal or go for shopping.
Okay.
And in some families, almost everything, the women, they do almost everything. So it depends on the family. But yeah, I think we are quite close. And usually maybe the biggest difference between the US and the Europe, that the old parents, they live together with the family. So we've got sort of multi-generation living.
Okay.
Because usually here, you pass the school and you finish the school and you travel to, for example, to the other part of the US and you have a job there. We usually stay a little bit more located. I mean, when you finish the studies, then you go nearby you have the job nearby.
Right.
Usually. That's probably the biggest difference.
Absolutely. And also, like, we tend to, like, keep all the birthdays and all the, like, family parties. It's quite common also, like, celebrating Christmas together or doing some, I don't know, barbecue together, or, if we are baking for Christmas, some of the Christmas cookies, sometimes, all the generations gather together and, like, bake, together, or, we quite keep the habits, I would say, back home. And therefore, there are, like, many opportunities, like, to gather together and spend time together. And except from birthdays, we have also name days. Yeah, so that's like quite something like little
name
birthdays.
Days?
Yeah, name days. So every name has a dedicated, let's say, day in the year. So then you celebrate not only birthday during the year, but also, like, name day. So that's also another, like, reason why to gather together to celebrate name day.
Wow, an excuse to have a party. It's Tereza Day. It's
Yeah.
Vladimir Day.
Yeah, it is.
So all the Vladimirs in the country party.
Yeah.
That sounds like fun. It's a great excuse to have a party. So take us through an average day in the life of someone in the Czech Republic. I mean, are most people working, or are there sometimes stay-at-home moms? I mean, or is it depend on the family?
Depends on the family, but majority are working. I mean, the men and women. There are not so many women stay stay home.
But we have very long maternity leave. You know, it's 3 years. So it's just
Oh,
like,
wow.
yeah, you know, usually if I tell it to my international students or even like cooperating academicians, they're like, what? You know, in our case, it's like 6 weeks, or, you know, somewhere it's like 3 months or something maximum. But in our case, it's like really literally like 3 years. So then, of course, it is like quite common that female go back to work, you know, after this period of time, because then, you know, the child is like, you know, grown enough to go to the kindergarten, and then moms get back to work, actually.
Wow.
And in some
and they
cases,
hold that job for that person?
Yes, you have to. It is given by the legal framework.
Do they have a temp then who comes in while you're gone to?
Yes, usually like some of the temporary, you know, worker, or that's it, you know. Nowadays, it's a more and more common thanks to also like the online, you know, world, that some of the moms work distantly, for example, 2 days per week or something, you know. So this has changed, of course, a bit, but still, you know, usually it is like this.
That's nice. Lets mom be the nurturer and not have to worry about.
Absolutely,
well, I lose my job.
absolutely, yeah.
That's less
This
stressful.
works.
So, you know, you mentioned biking to work. I was going to say, you know, what is transportation like? I mean, when you go to work, is there public transportation? Do people walk? I mean, here in the U.S., we drive because you couldn't get there in time walking.
Yeah.
We're not very walkable, but
Yeah. So everything in Hradec is more or less like walkable distance. So definitely students' dormitory, you know, you can easily reach the university sites, the sport facilities, and everything, the city center as well. And except from that, yeah, as I said, we cycle a lot. There are like the renting, you know, possibilities of the bicycles, like which you have for 15 minutes, you commute to work, to job, to university, and then you let the bicycle wherever you want, and then someone else gets it, you know. And except from that, you know, public transportation is literally available. We have very like a very wide network in Hradec. You know, there are also like the trolley buses, so the electric ones. You know, we have also electric buses, so the transportation is moving to be like more green, more sustainable in that regard. But it's very easy, and you know, as Tabita, who is a Missouri student, like currently in Hradec, she mentioned it on the session. You know, where we were motivating more students to come. She said that it's like every few minutes there is a bus going to the place where you need to. You know, and another aspect today at the research presentation which I had, it was quite funny because I was mentioning our common research topics. It's about optimization of transportation in the cities, optimization of car park, and here you know everything is available, and we discussed it, and there's hardly any traffic jams, you know, sometimes. So I was laughing because these are like our common research topics, and also like our head of the department, he asked me to ask some of the academicians here whether we can get any data about the problems with the traffic here, and then I realized how irrelevant this question is, you know. So here you really don't struggle with these matters.
Well, and I mean, part of it is that, I mean, we just don't live close enough. There aren't, I mean, the roads are, it can be miles, and it would be very difficult.
And even between cities and towns, situations is changing a little bit. Like in the US, people are driving more and more by car.
Yes,
So it's changing. And then maybe there sometimes the traffic jams are a little bit more often than it used to be. So sometimes in the morning it's horrible, but
And so people may not own their own vehicle in Hradec.
I mean, usually there is at least one car per family. You know, some families do also have like 2 cars, but then they realize that it's very hard to park, especially in the suburbs, you know, where there are a block of flats, you know, a lot of people living in one place, and there you are like rotating around your house, you know, finding the place for 20 minutes, you know, and you need to bring your shopping, and, you know, there is no place to park and to easily like get home. So it's like, you know, quite challenging, the transportation situation, but not only in Hradec, but also like within the whole Europe, you know.
In the bigger cities.
Yeah, exactly.
So we have sort of hinted at food. A universal thing that we talk about here on What in the World is food, and what you like and what you like to eat, and it's a universal language. I understand fish is very common in your country, or, I mean, is that one of the primary things? It was mentioned that carp is important.
Carp is important during Christmas, you know, so that's like the Christmas dinner. You know, you have the deep fried carp in the breadcrumbs, and you eat it like with the potato salad. And, you know, that's usually, you know, the only time in the year where you have carp. The rest of the year, you know, you usually, I mean, people got used like to eat a lot of salmon, definitely, you know.
Or tuna.
Yeah, tuna, salmon, and all these, you know, like typical either like seafood is also starting to be available back home. That's a very big comparison in the past. just like it wasn't available at all.
Yeah.
And of course, we are still like more meat country, you know, because
Okay.
we have our own like pork, beef, chicken, turkey, and the other like types of the kinds which are bred.
So what would
back
be
home.
a common dish that would be sort of a favorite or a traditional dish from the Czech Republic?
Dumpling and
Dumplings?
Yeah.
yeah, dumplings with
Either bread dumplings
pork
or
meat.
potato dumplings, so pork
Yeah,
meat
kind of
roasted, you know,
dumplings.
yeah, or goulash. We love goulash as well, you know. So then there are like various dishes and svíčková, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
This is like the beef tenderloin,
With the soup, yeah.
which is like absolutely soft and amazing, and you eat it like with the root vegetable sauce, which is like including cream, and you know it's delicious. And dumplings are a must there as well.
So, and we talked about, you do have fast food, but it's actually more expensive than restaurants?
Yes,
Tell me about
sometimes,
that.
yeah.
Really?
Yeah, yeah. If you visit our KFC or McDonald's, it would be probably sometimes 2 times more expensive
Wow.
than the restaurant when you can have a good meal. In better restaurants, it's nearly the same.
Yeah.
And in here in the US, probably it is the cheapest way to get the food. or
Get
the meal.
it, yeah. Students often tell us that they can't get the ingredients from their home country. Like if they wanted to make, something that was authentic, do you find, are there certain, can you get most things
Yes,
here?
you can, but you have to know where to go. Actually, I'm sending all the time, like because I love like cooking, and also I like you know, cooking like international cuisine, and therefore I also need to find the ingredients.
Yeah.
So I usually ask or tell students like in the beginning of semester, whatever you need, ask, you know, and I can hopefully guide you like to the place where you can get it. Or sometimes I'm buying in the wholesaler, you know, for our Mexican students, the corn tortillas, which are the only place where you can get it in Hradec. So you usually have to know, and nowadays most of the supermarkets have some of the like international, you know, shelves where you can get like some spices from Mexico, you know, some spices from the Asian cuisine,
Yeah.
and so on and so far. So it's definitely getting better and better, you know, and you can usually reach anything you
Is
need.
there anything unique that would be from the Czech Republic that we might have a hard time getting here?
Absolutely, sour
What's
cabbage. I think
sour
it would
cabbage?
be, yeah, the pre-prepared, and then sometimes also like kvark, you know, the soft cheese, like way of soft cheese, and also we have very many types of flour because we make these dumplings. We make we bake a lot, you know,
Yeah.
and there you need like special types of the flour, which is usually not available in most of the countries all around the world. So when I was in the UK, you know, then it was very hard, so I couldn't bake what I wanted, and I had to bring the flour from back home.
Yeah. So have you found anything in America that you liked, and you've tried a couple restaurants? Did you have anything good that you're like, oh yes?
Yes, we had. Yesterday, probably we had the best burger
Absolutely.
ever. What we had.
Really.
And this is my 6th time in the US. But yesterday in here, that
was
burger,
really super,
Buddha
super.
Gouda.
Yeah.
You could throw the name out. Was it Tropicana?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Tropicana
yeah,
restaurant,
yes.
and you know we enjoyed it a lot, and
Yeah,
actually you know the flavors there, it was really super good. So it
a
was
lot of
amazing.
it. We couldn't eat all of it.
Yeah,
and
the
with
side
onion
dish
rings
we-
and so
we-
on.
we
So
liked, yeah.
yeah, so we don't eat much burgers. It's a bit unhealthy and quite heavy food. But yeah, we sometimes we took one. And it was delicious. Yeah.
Awesome. All right. Well, so I had mentioned climate when we were talking about gardens earlier. And climate, do you have a variety of climate, or you know, since
Yeah.
Blanca said she goes cross country skiing, is it cold
Yeah,
there?
yeah.
More
Absolutely, there are really 4 seasons, you know.
Yeah,
Still,
the
it's
4 seasons.
like you know, it's not like this as it used to be in the past. In the past, in Hradec, you were sure that there will be really the winter, but nowadays, you know, it's definitely in the mountains. But in Hradec, you know, it's sometimes not possible to do cross-country skiing during winter, which used to be possible, or skating on the river. You know, it used
Due
to be
to the
absolutely
global
common.
warming, yeah.
Yeah. So due
Global
to
warming.
like the changes in the weather, I know it might be a little bit like different than in the past. But usually, exactly, you have 4 seasons. So in the summer, we usually go swimming outdoor, you know, either like to like the swimming pools, or you know, to ponds and lakes. Then in winter, many people like go skiing on the ponds, or skating on the ponds, and skiing, of course, in the mountains, you know. And you know, in winter, spring, we do
Yeah.
the country is doing a lot of cycling, you know, hiking. So
Yeah.
you can do all year round activities, you know, corresponding to the weather.
Yeah, I check the weather, what you have during the year, and in the spring it's nearly the same. I mean, the temperatures. Here it's a bit warmer right now,
Yeah.
but we've got a more freezing winter. than you have. Sometimes minus 20 centigrades. I don't know how much is it in Fahrenheit. Sorry.
That's okay.
And the summer is a bit hotter here.
So she mentioned that she likes a lot of athletic things and outdoor things. What do you do for fun? What are some other entertainment things that are popular?
I like cycling. So sometimes I cycle from home to Hradec. It's about 40 miles. So that's what I did 2 weeks ago, something like this. I really like walking as well. I used to do athletics also, but it's at about 10, 15 years ago. It's a long time.
So one more question in this segment. If I came to Czech Republic, what would you want to show me or show a tourist? What were some things like you'd be proud to show, like, hey, this is something very cool about
cultural and natural
heritage,
things, you know, because we have a lot to see. I mean, unfortunately, a lot of tourists are focused just on Prague. You know, the Prague centrism is like quite painful for Hradec, for example. And the surrounding, you know, there are very many beautiful like places like Český Krumlov and our like castles, chateaus, and there are many really many cities, towns, and very cozy places in the whole country, you know, which are definitely worth it to be explored. Not only Prague, which is also like amazing, and I prefer going there as a tourist as well, you know. So it's very similar. And the natural beauty. So you know, we have the rock towns from sandstone, which are amazing, very unique shapes, and so on. So far, there were also like some famous films filmed there in these areas. Similarly, the mountain like hiking is amazing, and usually we tend to take our students there just like to explore also like the natural beauties together with the cultural. So
and also Hradec is quite historic city.
Absolutely.
Lots of history.
We celebrate 800 years ago during the autumn, so it's quite old.
Excellent.
Beautiful places to go.
All right, we're going to take a quick break. And when we come back, we will visit with Tereza and Vladimir about their impressions of Joplin, Missouri and the United States. We'll be back.
Hi, I'm Hector from Mexico.
Namaste, I'm Sukriti from Nepal.
And I'm Kevin from Sweden.
Did you know that Missouri Southern is home to more than 100 international students?
Most of these students, like me, came here without knowing anyone, and that's scary.
And that's where the International Club can help.
We plan fun events.
From going to the river and bowling,
To American-style proms and cultural festivals,
If you want to find friends from different countries,
join the International Club.
Welcome back to Window on the World, where we're getting to know faculty from the University of Hradec Králové. With us today are Dr. Tereza Očenáčková and Dr. Vladimir Sobolesov. How are you having fun yet here in Joplin?
We didn't have enough time, unfortunately, because we were quite busy.
Yes.
We arrived early in the night, and then we jumped straight
So you
into the
Teaching
meeting.
duties, which is great actually, you know, to have the classes with your students.
Yeah.
It's amazing. I love the interaction and, you know, also sharing the experience, the knowledge. So it was very fruitful and very beneficial as well.
So I was going to ask you, what is your impression of the students?
Yeah, I think some things are different, something is similar. We were talking about it with Tereza, that they are quite similar. I mean, they interest and so on. I mean, this is a bit similar. What is different? Today I attend the club, which is pretty informal.
Yeah.
Students were having the pizza with teachers, so this is something what we don't have, and we should do because it's quite open, and they give you some question, they question you, and yeah, it's fine. It's so open. That's nice.
Yeah. So you said you've been to the United States before. I don't know if you have, Tereza. What are your initial impressions of the United States, and then when you came to Joplin, how did it compare to maybe other cities you visited?
It's more peaceful in here. You have the best burgers.
That's true, you know, proven.
Yeah, it's really nice. So it's different. I visited New York. It's a vibrating city. It's nice, but it's completely different. I visit the West. I prefer the mid and west part of the U.S. It depends what you are looking for.
Yeah.
I'm looking for mainly for the parks. Nature. This is really nice. So yeah, I'll be very happy to see and visit some trails and very soon, hopefully, next week probably.
Yeah, we do have parks that have a lot of
Yeah.
natural, cliffs and things like that.
Yeah.
And so that's. Have you found something that you've enjoyed or something you've discovered while you've been here that is a little bit different?
I mean, I'm absolutely impressed how, for example, Missouri University is promoted, within the city as well, So I saw just like, the line on the billboard, like somewhere
Yeah,
like in the
that's
supermarket area, or also like the petrol station and everything. So this is like what was very interesting. And generally speaking, for me, it's very interesting here, like how spacious everything is, because we are way more squeezed, back home.
Right.
So there you have like a lot of space for everything, like, no matter whether it's parking spaces or, the roads. And also the campus site, how the buildings are not like, let's say, so close to each other. And it's like a very sort of,
And I
free
enjoy the
feeling.
driving here.
Yeah.
It's really easy. It's nice.
You can take drives just for scenic purposes,
Yes, yes,
which is very nice. I mean, that is part of why it's difficult. Like your president of your university once told us, former president, that driving across your country is like just driving across our state, and you've got the United States, which is very big.
Yeah,
So,
you're right.
talk to us a little bit about. We are encouraging students to study abroad, so are you. So did you go to other countries? Were you people who studied abroad when you were students? And is that what kind of got your interest in it? Is that part of what your lifestyle?
For me, yeah, I really love traveling to see different culture, taste different meals. That's really, really good, yeah. And I would recommend it also to the others. And there were some students during the class. We asked them, have you ever been to Europe? Some of them were or visited
A very
Europe.
small number,
Very small
So
number.
that's why I tend to motivate them, like not only to come to us, but also like to travel. And I'm doing the same like with the Czech students, because I think as soon as you not only travel abroad for a while, but if you stay some time, abroad, you really have to live the life there. Then it's the experience which is just definitely very worthy. And I'm all the time like pushing/motivating students to go abroad. And from my point of view, traveling also, like, it's a very important part of my life, and just like to understand the other cultures, their values, the views. And actually in all the classes which I had here, which was about 6, I was all the time emphasizing the differences, because this is something what you don't know if you don't travel. So then of course it's the way how to transfer the knowledge about these things, and it's very important just to understand that not everywhere something is like normal, funny or something, and somewhere it might be even like controversial or problematic. So this is what I was trying to share also during the classes, and I'm using all the time the experience from teaching abroad and traveling abroad, because this is the way how to understand also yourself as soon as you start exploring the other cultures.
Yeah. Well, thank you both for sharing part of your world with us. We appreciate you being here.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for having us, and we will be looking forward to exploring even more here. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Well, that is all for now on Window on the World. Stay tuned for KGCS and more great programming. I'm Lisa Alligas. Thanks to our guests, and thank you for watching.